Good morning, PotCoins. Today is Sunday, 25 January 2015. We are currently on block 59, 56, 25 of the Pot chain. Here's what's been going on this week. More wallet issues. Last week, I talked about a problem the Laser Viking was having with PotWallet.com. It took a few days of draining the server's hot wallet before he could get all of his coins out. And now they're sitting in an address that wallet.potcoin.com has the private keys to. The problem now is that wallet.potcoin.com is showing him a zero balance. The PotChain Explorer shows that the coins are there, but for whatever reason, the mobile wallet interface isn't registering. I've played around with all these wallets and I haven't had any problems, but I haven't been moving hundreds of thousands of coins. The amounts I usually play with are 1,000 or less. There might be issues of scalability. Either way, it appears that potwallet.com is solvent. They just ran into some troubles with large amounts. This draws parallels to legacy banking. If, for example, you go to the bank and try to take out $100, there's no problem. But if you try to take out 100,000, well, they don't have it. And you're going to run into some problems, not just with the bank, but with the government too. Issues like this are one of the main things that the concept of cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology was designed to solve. It gives you the ability to control your money by giving you the private keys. If you choose to give your private keys, you're giving up the biggest advantage that crypto has over fiat. And that's the elimination of the need for third parties. The mobile wallet is a useful and necessary tool for regular use, but it's not the place to hold hundreds of thousands of coins. The most secure place for those coins would be in cold storage. However, going from cold storage to a hot wallet is still fairly complicated and not something a new user could pick up easily. The next best option is the Qt client, also referred to as the official or original desktop wallet. The main disadvantage is that it downloads the whole blockchain. From a larger perspective, there should be as many copies of the blockchain as possible because it adds to the security of the network, but from a user perspective, it takes a long time. A long time. And it uses a lot of space. Currently, the PotChain is almost 750 megabytes and growing continuously. Electrum is a light wallet that doesn't download the entire blockchain, but it's still a little buggy. I'm comfortable holding 10,000 coins in there, but I wouldn't put 100,000 in it. Everything in the entire crypto space is still very new, and it's all still a bit buggy. To put it into perspective, Bitcoin is 6 years old now, and it hasn't even officially launched. It's still in beta testing. Early adopters of anything new are going to run into some problems. It's part of the growth and development process. The most important thing any of us can do to help is to notice and report those problems. If you know how to code, then maybe you can help fix things. Or if you're a dumbass like me, at least let someone else know, and hopefully smart people will come and fix it. Looks like we got fooled. Legalization isn't what we thought it would be. For the past 2 decades, I've been under the impression that legalizing pot was the right answer. And the past year here in Denver, it looked like we were on the right track. But now the truth is finally coming out. Pot is becoming even more legal. And that's not a good thing. Even more legal means even more laws, even more restrictions, and even more hoops to jump through. Recreational and medical pot have very different rules. For the most part, medical is much more free. A few examples are that recreational pot must be tested for potency and contaminants, but medical doesn't. You can't infuse trademark products with recreational pot, but you can with medical. And the biggest one is that you can't have undisclosed financial interests in a retail license for recreational, but you can with medical. The obvious answer everyone expected was to remove the restrictions on recreational pot. But instead, the opposite is happening. The state wants to impose more restrictions on medical pot. They basically want to change the rules often enough that no one will be able to comply. This is an evil genius strategy. You let pot businesses start up, charge them insane amounts for licenses and other bullshit paperwork, and even let them make a little bit of profit. Then when it's worth it to confiscate everything, you just change the rules and raid them and steal everything that they've earned. Seeing the new direction legalization has taken, I'm starting to think that pot was better off being illegal. Back then, there was only one rule, and it was simple. You just can't have any pot. You can't grow it or smoke it or sell it. It seemed bad at the time, but we all knew how to get around the law, and now the law is trying to get around us. As the end user, we have less to worry about. And instead, businesses trying to be legal are the biggest target for the state. The state realizes that it was pointless and counterproductive to bust the little guy, so they let the little guy funnel money into a dispensary. And once the dispensary has enough, shut him down and steal it all. It's much more efficient than trying to bust everyone. Change tip in Facebook. I think this is the killer app Bitcoin has been waiting for. It gives kids the ability to use Bitcoin. A recent study found that despite Facebook's policy for users to be 13 years or older, an estimated 5 million users are age 10 or under. They'll grow up with money as a digital content type that they can share with each other. And they might skip the need for legacy banking and all of its nightmares. When kids start using it, they'll have little need to cash out into fiat, and it's much more valuable with the ability to move freely peer-to-peer. And you can get whatever you need with Bitcoin, especially now that digital goods are starting to outpace physical goods. Some merchants might still need to cash out into fiat, but that too will soon change. Well, that's all for this edition of Mad PotCoins. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.